Thank you, everyone, for joining us for this week's Eye on the SLIAC. We are talking with Ethan Nieroda from the Webster University Cross Country Program. Ethan, how are you doing today?
I'm good.
I want to thank you again for joining us during this busy time of the fall season for you. For those who may not know, you're a sophomore at Webster. Last year, all conference runner, finishing in eighth place at the SLIAC Championships. Can you talk a little bit about what it was like coming in as a freshman into a collegiate program and immediately having an impact not just on your program, but being one of the best runners in the conference?
Oh, I think that it was very different from my high school because in high school, there were tons of fast guys there. And, so sometimes I felt, downtrodden. But now at Webster, I feel a lot more part of the team and I feel a lot more appreciated. And I think that's great.
Yeah, you mentioned high school. You're from nearby O'Fallon on the Illinois side. But yeah, that's the great thing about D3 athletics there is it gives you that chance to compete and really push yourself. This year you're off to another fantastic year with the Gorloks. You most recently ran a time in the AK of 28:10, which is the fifth fastest so far this season. What did you work on from last year into this year to really improve your running?
I think definitely it was running more miles. This year I'm consistently running far more than I did last year, and I think that is really helping me build up my endurance a lot more.
Right. And, speaking of that building endurance, I hope you're going to take a little break. You are on a week break here. Not back in action again for another week after this, when you go compete in the Bradley Pink Classic. So what are you going to do with your week off?
Oh, I'm gonna go back home and definitely spend time with my family.
Nice. And speaking of your family, any brothers or sisters?
Yeah, I have a sister and she's a senior in high school and she is going to play soccer for SIUE next year.
Oh, very cool. So an athletic family. Nice. What is it about sports? What do you get out of competing or pushing yourself with running? What is it that you get out of, playing collegiately?
I think that a lot of it is the community and how it's not just me there, it's me and a bunch of other guys, and we can all like build off of each other and push each other to be the best runners that everybody individually can be.
Right. So question for you. Would you rather run in the cold or run in the heat? Cross country is kind of that weird sport where, at the start you're competing in that hot and that humid in September, and then, towards the end of the championships you're competing in cold, sometimes rainy weather. So what do you prefer, hot or cold?
I definitely prefer cold. I'm always the guy at practice who shows up in shorts and everybody's bundled up in their hoodies and everybody's just looking at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, it's not that cold.
So you're not only a member of the Gorlax cross country team, but you're also a member of their track and field team. Finished second in the 1500 at outdoor track last year. What do you have a different mindset when it goes from cross country and then to the track and field during the winter and spring seasons?
I think that I do because track is quite a bit shorter. I think I focus a lot more on speed and there's also sometimes a little bit more competition because of the shorter race. Everybody's closer together. I think that is really helpful for me to, go faster in those races.
All right, Ethan. Well, now it's time for the SLIAC Quick Six. So these are some fun questions that we'll close out our interview with. Just whatever you go with your gut. So, what is your pre-run playlist consist of? What's that song that gets you going?
Ooh, I got a lot of classic rock on there, especially from the 60s and the 70s, Led Zeppelin, some Beatles, and then I got to throw in a bit of alternative from the 90s, some Crowded House, REM,
See, now the 90s, that's my era, so I'm glad you didn't call that classic rock. So I appreciate that. What is your favorite Halloween movie?
Oh gosh. Uh I probably have to say Scary Movie because I like the comedies.
All right, so there's a couple my thoughts on this, but so we'll see which one you are. Do you eat a big meal before race day or after the race? What do you do?
I think after.
Yeah, and what is it?
Yeah.
What's your go-to meal?
My mom makes this homemade pizza and it is the best thing. And I'm always excited to, have that in the weekends, after a big race. It's amazing.
Does she vary up the toppings, or is there one go-to topping for you?
Oh yeah, there's always different stuff, sometimes it's pesto, sometimes it's mushrooms, everything.
All right, who's your funniest teammate?
Oh gosh. I gotta say my guy Micah, he always says the most interesting things at the most interesting times.
So did you know what a Gorlock was before you attended Webster, and do you know what one is now?
I did not know what it was. I was very confused, but then I found out that is a combination of a dog, a buffalo, and a cheetah, and I think that makes a little more sense now.
And then finally, what is your major and what's your dream job?
I think my dream job is probably directing my own animated movie.
All right, very cool. Well, Ethan, it was a pleasure getting to talk to you and get to know you a little bit, and we look forward to seeing you in the future races and here in about a month over at the cross country championships.
Thank you.